Hey guys, it's KCJILLY. We're about a day or two away from July, I think one. And I was just going to show you, I'm recovering slowly from all the storms that happened the other day. So here's a quick look at what I got going on. So I've potted up a few of my tomatoes. And I say a few because I have many more that need potted up. Spinach looking a little rough back there, but hey, it's close to the back door, which goes right into my kitchen. I don't know if a critter jumped up here and laid down on my stuff or what, but these strawberries looking like they had a rough day. Everything needs some water right now. Here's some more tomatoes and peppers. I'll pot this stuff up too. It's not quite there yet. All right, you can see this guy's had it. It's done. It's gonna get the knife. I gotta mow and everything tomorrow, and I'll probably take it out. This one's still got a couple on it, so I'm gonna leave it alone till they're done. Once they get all the way ripe, it's probably gone too. These are indeterminate, so I'm not sure. You can see, I think you can see, excuse me. See how bad a shape that thing's in? So I've had to throw away so very many of these guys. Quite a bit. My basil's flowering, isn't it pretty? I'm gonna let it go to seed and do its thing. Keep the critters out and make some sketty sauce. You see what I mean? This is between the sun scald and all the dadgum hail the other day. My plants are pretty puny. All right, the cicadas are singing to me. Look, this guy just said forget about it and gave up altogether. Sun gold running into another indeterminate on the other side of the fence there. Everything's pretty drawed up and skinny. These two, I'm not sure. I'm thinking they're determinates. I've got a couple tomatoes on there. I don't know how good they'll be on the inside. We'll see. I'm gonna give it a shot. And that one looks okay. So this one's not quite as bad. Got a few bell peppers making, but look, they're all burnt up. So dadgum hot. There's a lunchbox pepper. There's a couple green bell peppers finally making. So at least I guess the bell peppers are ready to kick in now. There's a couple other pitiful looking tomato plants that's liable to be cut here shortly. Here's my peach tree that I planted from seed back in October. It's a good 3.5 feet now. I'm gonna say 3 anyway. Doing okay, coming on along. The cannas and bananas, you can still see the evidence where they got ripped up and tore old pieces from the hail, but the leaves are coming back. Things are filling out. These guys are flowering. Look kind of pretty. Morning glories in the back, hanging in there. These guys flowering, it's getting pretty big. There's a couple of, I believe these are ice cream bananas. They're doing well. Another canna back there with the red flowers, pretty. There's a couple of different flavored ones, but everything's filling back out finally. This little Florida Prince tree is doing excellent. It's really shooting up there. I don't even know if I'm gonna prune it next year. I might just let it go for a little bit. Alrighty, look at the elephant ears. While there is evidence of what the hail did, I cut off most of that stuff that was really bad. And they're back. They're bigger than me. Give you an idea how big they are with me up beside of them. I mean, it probably really is as big as a real elephant's ear. So, but they're doing well, because they look terrible. And here's a little determinate tomato. I don't even know anymore. Doing okay. The Romas, I don't see any flowers because it's too dang hot, but they're still trying to make over there. So that says something for them. You can see I got a couple back in there. Most of my plants though, they're gone, or what's left of them are just about chewed up. You can see got some cucumbers started, and they're starting to come along a little bit and crawl up the fence. This tomato plant is trying really hard, and so I've been leaving it alone. But that burn, you know, you see that is what happened when the heat comes, and it's been beat by hell. So, and if you look close over there, you can really see just what kind of shape those tomatoes are in. Got a big old hole in the middle of it. And that basil right there is flowering as well. My bush beans, I threw the rest of the ones I had in my little package down in this bucket, and I've been watering it. They're coming up. I may take them over there where the tomatoes were. Maybe even over there where those tomatoes were. And just spread them out so it'll be a little easier to see everything as it's coming up. You can see my squash. It was so big and pretty, but it's coming back. It's filling back out. We'll get there. Same with these little tomatoes. They grow up in this heat, and by the time it starts cooling down, they'll be ready to pump it out. My zucchini's trying to come back now. And as far as the cucumbers here, man, we've been harvesting all kind of cucumbers here. You know, that one's probably about ready. Mama hasn't made her evening trip, but they seem to be okay. They look really rough, but we've got plenty of little fruit and vegetables coming along through the middle of it. Kind of hard to see. You got to kind of run back and forth on both sides of this fence, but you know, we got some in there. Okay, in this little section, I'm going to call this my little Mediterranean garden. Later on, I'll box it all in and make it pretty, but for right now, it seems like that kind of stuff, Middle Eastern kind of stuff, stuff that needs dry, hot, and it does well right here. This dirt ain't worth a crap for anything, tomatoes or nothing like that, but this stuff here is Egyptian spinach. And it's all kicking off pretty good, and I'm not putting too much water to it, just a little tiny bit every once in a while. Little baby pomegranate there is doing okay. And as you can see, what he came out of is doing just fine too. Let's check out the greenhouse. All right. So the greenhouse has been a little bit more protected than everywhere else. I'll start down here today with my pink Berkeley tie-dye. I got a couple of them getting up there. Not quite ready to crawl over on my string yet, but getting there. My Aunt Ruby's German green, who was the dwarf all year long, actually blushing. Looks like it may be getting about ready, my first one. I have never eaten one, so who knows? It may not be Aunt Ruby's German green. Whoever did my seed packets this year, I bought them through Amazon, independent sellers. Look how tall that thing's got. It's out doing half of them. They've sold me a bunch of wrong seeds this year, so I'm thinking this one is an Anise Noir. You can see that is a big old tomato. That thing's gonna weigh a pound and a half anyway by itself. But it's pretty much stopped. All of them are at a spot now where nothing's making. It's just too dang hot. You know, it gets 125 degrees in this greenhouse in the middle of the day, even with the water. See, I got a little bit of flowers. Trying to show it to you down there. But they won't pollinate when it gets like this. It's too darn hot. These are black creme though. And it's pretty good size black creme as well. So, and those are from my seeds from last year. Plant's healthy though. And it's crawling up there. It's working its way up. The sun gold looks pitiful down here, but get about halfway up and it's still trying. We'll see what happens. Enjoyed many little tasty tomatoes off of it. This guy is my question mark determinant. I do not know, but it is still making So that's cool because I still got plenty of jars in there. I want to do some more canning, make some salsa and some tomatoes and okra. And this one is almost there. It and the sun gold bowls, I'm fixing to have to go across on these little strings. Won't be too long. And my blueberry tomatoes, they've been kicking off. My wife and my co-worker, they really like these blueberries. I find them a little tart. And even though I say I like tart and acidic punch, I think I'm lying a little bit on the tart, because to me those they're not sweet enough. I can tell why you wouldn't call that a sweet one anyway. But so that's what's going on over here. I will sneak you over here. Excuse me. All right, down here is my grapevine and my rosemary. Look how good them guys are doing. Got some new leaves on this one. This one's gonna make it. So this was my mama's. She's dead now. She died about 2 years ago, right about the time COVID came in. We got screwed on her funeral. We only were able to have 10 people at that funeral. It was the most shameful thing ever. But she passed away, and one of the only things she had left over there plant-wise was rosemary, and it was about to die, and I rescued it. So I'll be tickled to have some of that stuff growing all over the place. But the grapevine I'm also tickled about, because we can can some jelly and make some juice. And I guess one of these days I could make some wine if I got in the zone for it. But these 2 trays, I still haven't seen any evidence of anything coming yet, but there are 40 apricot trees or seeds in here. So there's a possibility of having that many little trees. That'd be pretty cool. My Yukon Gold potatoes, I got one side that's probably done. Whatever's in there is there. It's probably done, but that one is not done yet. So even though it's little and it's pitiful, what I learned from the last time is I'm waiting till that dude is all the way dead too, and then I'll dig them up. We'll show you a video before I eat all of them. And here I have a couple more melons. They're spreading out pretty good now. Been getting a lot of flowers on them. I seen a little melon or two starting. I don't know what all's melon and what's cantaloupe, because my seed company didn't do too good, but it's definitely a melon. I got one down in here. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a watermelon. But I just got some seeds in, some Israeli melon seeds. They're kind of like cantaloupe, and they're good. They're sweet, little, kind of like a honeydew melon. I'm gonna try those guys out next. So I'm over here at my asparagus corner, over here hiding. You see the old yellow stuff over there, cracked looking stick in the back. That's some of the original stuff that I planted, and it's already kind of died off since it's been over here, but I believe it is taken. I have several new growth. This one's a new one, and this one is a new one, and so is this dark green one right here in the middle. So we've got several new shoots kicking off. If you look under here, you can see this guy right here. He's new too. So it's gonna make, it's taken, it's gonna be cool. Maybe next year I can harvest about half of that stuff and eat it. I'm not a huge asparagus fan, but I like it with bacon wrapped around it, and there's some ways to do it. It's nice. So my little melon, it hasn't really took off yet, but it looks like it's fixing to finally. It was real yellow for quite a while. I didn't think there was any hope for it, but it's getting a little green to it now. This one's beginning to spread out a little bit. And this is what happens when the blueberry meets Junction, Texas, right here. Kimball County water and dirt just doesn't like it. Even though I've worked really hard, I have a meter in there, a soil pH meter, and I stuck it in this thing, and I've got it down to 4.5. And I have let it mostly water with rainwater from the drip edge off my house. It gets every morning's dew, but it's just not cutting the mustard. This old thing just having a hard time. So whatever happens, happens. I gave it a good shot. I tried the best I could, but it is what it is. My little orange trees are still Still making it. They ain't doing nothing special, but hey, it's an orange tree. I'm in Texas, not Florida. Sweet Heat's got 1 or 2 on there. They're kicking back. This guy's coming back. It's filling out real full here. Not sure exactly. Maybe squash. I don't know. Squash or zucchini one. I will find out soon enough. But doing pretty good. And this is what I've done with a lot of my rotten tomatoes and fouled up ones. I throw them in this bucket, and then them seeds, they'll sprout later on. And I'll just dig them out of there once they've sprouted to give you an example of what that looks like. Later on, that turns into this, which is what you saw at the beginning of the video in the potted plants. I'll come over here and scoop it out with my little shovel and pot these guys up. And this is the fall harvest right here. Doing pretty good. I'm getting back to the cucumbers again. They're all hiding up in here. I'm gonna have to make my wife come out here and do a little double check. I seen several on there. Anyway, I appreciate you guys checking in on me. I figured I'd throw something out there in case anybody is actually watching. And we'll holler at y'all next time.